Yeah, thank you all once again for joining this session and welcome to the class. I think you all can see the screen and hear me. If any issues with the audio part or the visualization part, please check network connectivities from your end so that we don't have any interruptions. And all right, so before we get into the actual topic, let me introduce myself. I'm Preeti here. I'll be your instructor for this complete DevOps training. And coming to my professional experience, I have almost 16 plus years of experience into IT, worked in different roles, played with different technologies and tools. Currently, I'm working as a DevOps manager in an MNC, and I'm into DevOps stream from almost 8 to 9 years. And I have both corporate as well as online training experience on DevOps. How this experience will help you practically, all of that I'll explain before we jump into the topic. So currently I'm working as a DevOps manager, leading the project with building the CI/CD pipelines from the scratch, designing the delivery pipelines, automating the infrastructure with Terraform, managing the applications for high availability. And these are the core areas I'm working on, and I'm a certified professional in Kubernetes, Terraform, and AWS. That's a brief about myself. Let me get into the topic. So let's talk about the course now. This course is designed for anyone whoever interested into DevOps. Anyone, when I say anyone, I mean everyone whoever have this interest, because this is designed in a way that people from different backgrounds, people from different experience levels can have a benefits out of this course. How that happens? That happens because due to the design I made for this course. This course is designed in a way that what the market needs, what the people should have understand and clarity on to work on the projects. This is all created with all my experience curated in the projects as well as in the trainings. What are the blockers for the candidates to switch their role? What are the blockers they'll be stuck up in the projects? Like what are the challenges they face during the interview? Keeping this in mind, this course is created. All the curated course content is available here. I'll walk you through this LMS, a learning management system, which we provide our students, which works like a guided pathway so that they can reach their goals easily, right? All of that I'll walk you through in some time. Today, it's a brief or high level picture of what is DevOps, why we were using DevOps, right? These are the things we'll discuss. So like, what are the benefits of DevOps and how does anyone fit into it? All of these questions will be covered today. By the completion of the class today, you will get a clarity on whether you should learn DevOps or not, whether it works, like can you switch your career to DevOps or not, what is DevOps, why like it was a buzz in the market from years, like from a couple of years it was in the buzz, why it is having a lot of demand, and why the pay scales are more for DevOps engineer. Am I eligible to become a DevOps engineer? To become a DevOps engineer, what are all the tools and skill set I should have? All of these questions will be clarified by the end of the class today. If you have any questions, I'm getting started. So if you have any questions during our discussions, you can use the chat window or else you can unmute and speak out. Hope you all can see this. So all the presentations, all the labs, how would you get the labs? All the presentations, all the notes material will be like how you will get to it. So let us begin with the very basics. Like I told you, this is the agenda of today's topic, big picture of DevOps, roles and responsibility of a DevOps engineer, CI/CD pipeline overview, DevOps tools and skill set, right? Let's go through this. Please keep muted everyone unless until you have a question. Please keep muted. Everyone should be muted. I'm seeing people unmute. Please keep muted, everyone. Otherwise, I have to mute you. Thank you. So that we avoid any background noise. Any questions you have, unmute and speak. Don't leave your mics left unmuted unless otherwise needed. Thank you all. So let us begin. Any questions?
We took the notes open and
So let's get started. DevOps, as you see this name, yeah, it is very clear. It's a combination of two terms, dev and operations, development and operations. What is development and what is operations, right? So how does it makes a difference? Why this, how this name is, how this term is coined? Let's talk about these things. I am sharing a screen. Hope you all can see the black screen. DevOps is a combination of development and operations, right? So what is meant by development, what is meant by operations, like what are these teams? Let me tell you, like when you are working with any application, or else let's say you are an end user, we are using so many applications in our daily life, right? So whenever you are using some application in your daily life, it is coming to you means like you are using an application means at the back end of this, there were multiple teams working. There were so many teams working at the back end. If you are using any online shopping application or a networking application or anything, this application has gone through a lot of process and many teams work at the back end. And here I am picking up most important teams out of them: development team, operations team, and QA team. What is a development team? I believe you all might be aware of it. So just let me quickly give a brief. Development team is nothing but who write the code, who have the programming skills, are developers, or you call them as programmers, who write the code, who design the application, who build the application, right? These are the major tasks of development team. QA, quality assurance team or testing team, will test the application. Again, of course, there are different levels of testing, different types of testing. Here I'm just talking about they test the application. They see whether the application is as per the client requirements or not, right? So all of these things will be tested by testing team. And ops teams, who will look after the infrastructure. In short, they'll check whether the servers are up and whether all the servers are up or not, up and running or not. Any service got disconnected. All the network connectivities are good. All the access logins, all of them would be taken care by ops guys. In short, we can say infrastructure management is taken care by operations team. So these are the three teams I'm going to highlight. Of course, again, I'm telling you, in real world, there are many teams which work at the back end for an application. Here I'm talking about these three teams. So developers are the ones who write the code, who design the application and all. Once they write the code, they will hand over the application to QA team. QA team will test it, like I told you, different levels, different types, different ways of automation. They test the application. Once the application is tested thoroughly, right, they will find the defects or bugs. Means they'll check whether it is as per the client requirements or not. If there is any deviation, they will raise that in the form of defects or bugs. Once these defects or bugs are identified, it will be who will fix it. They will again send to developers. They'll again write the code, make the code changes, fix it, and again send it. This process keep on continuing until the application is defect free or bug free. Let's suppose the application is defect free or bug free. Okay, it's all good. Let's assume it's all completely bug free. Now that will be handed over to ops teams. Ops teams is operation team. Their responsibility is to deploy the application. For anyone new here, deploying the application means in layman terms, just consider running the application so that end users can use it, right? So I'm talking about why DevOps came in initially. When you are learning something, you should learn why it is useful, like why we should learn it and what is it actually. So I'm talking about why part, right? And why you should learn this course, what are the benefits of the course, all of that will be covered. So this is how it works. Like now it is handed over to deployment, I mean infra team or operations team. They have to manage all these things, right? Like they may have to manage the server, services, network access, logins, all of them should be taken care by. Suppose, let's say they have to deploy this application. Let's take some application called a gaming application. So if they have to install it and run it, they should know which versions of the softwares are needed, right? What softwares are needed first, what softwares and what versions of the softwares, right? They should have all this information. Whenever this dev and QA, I'm combining both of them into and call it as dev team for simplicity. This dev team will hand over this application to ops team. During this handover, they will also share the instruction document with all the steps of what softwares are needed to run this application, what kind of versions should be there, which operating system should be there, all of that information will be there in the instruction document. So infra ops team will follow this instruction document and try to deploy the application. But this instruction document may not be working always, or it may be working on some servers, may not be working on different servers, and may not be understood properly by the other teams because the perspective of developers will be different from the perspective of ops teams, right? Because their skill set is again different. The skill set of developers are writing the code, right? They'll have knowledge of build tools, maybe DB knowledge, all of this. The skill set of ops teams is totally different. Their skill set is different. Their core competencies are different, so they don't understand each other properly. The instructions given by development team may not be clear or may not be working in reality when the ops team do the setup. Obviously, which takes lot of time taking for deployment, right? So let's say application is handed over in the month of July. It may be deployed in the month of December or so, which is taking lot of time, right? So this is not good. Client want the application to be released as early as possible. Deployments should become faster. But because of this bridge gap between the teams, like different skill set, they don't understand each other. Deployments were taking longer time. How to overcome this problem? How can we make deployments faster? Any solution to this? How can we make deployments faster? That's the one of the reasons why DevOps came in. Deployments become faster. You don't have to wait for months or even days. Within minutes, you can see the features released to end users. Right? That's a major advantage. The velocity of deployments have increased drastically. That's what one of the advantages of DevOps. Right? How it is overcome, how we will learn with the hands-on from tomorrow. From tomorrow onwards, it will be completely hands-on, where we'll be learning about these things like how to deploy, how your deployments becomes faster, how can DevOps engineer do that and all, how overcomes all these challenges. Here, the challenges of which software should install, which versions, they have to configure the servers manually, they don't see the instructions working, they don't understand the problem. How are these challenges overcome? By the came of DevOps. Again, if you ask me how in particularly in DevOps, I would say through Docker containers. Again, what is Docker container? There is a dedicated chapter for Docker containers in our course. Almost 10 days of the topics are on alone Docker containers. So you can see how wide and broadly it is covered and how important it is. Docker containers made the development, the way of development, deployment changed completely. They will not, like in the traditional approach, in the olden days, they used to share the app and instructions. Now, they will not share the app and the instructions. No, this is not how the application is shared to the ops teams. Rather, they'll share it in the form of a Docker image to the DevOps teams. That's the difference that makes the deployments aged drastically. Am I making sense? Am I clear? How exactly Docker containers? I have done that. Like what is a Docker container? From the basics till advanced concept will be covered once we start the class. So this is where the change comes in. Now, so the way of development change means unlike in the traditional approach, like developers are just handing over the application and the instruction document, they will share the application in the form of an image or a container. So here in this context, I would like to make one thing very clear. Like till now, we were talking about DevOps engineers are a team of people who can automate the deployments, right? Now I would like to tell you one thing. Whether you are a developer or a tester, or you are working in middleware, or a database engineer or network engineer or a admin guy, like whatever background, technical background you are coming from, let's suppose you still want to continue in the same way. Like let's say you are a developer, you have passion for development, you still want to continue as a developer. Even then you have to learn Docker. The reason, you understood, right? The way of development, the way of deployment, everything changed. When I say the way, it's not just DevOps engineers should know Docker. Developers are sharing in the form of Docker container. So even though you don't want to become a DevOps engineer, you still remain in your development phase. I mean, development team, you would still want to continue with development. Even then, you should know Docker. Am I making sense? Shankar, it's not exactly the okay. There is a question from Shankar. It means developers need to start development with a Docker container. The terminology, the statement is a little bit not apt. Let me tell you. Developers have to share their application in the containerized format. Not that they develop in Docker, but they will share their applications or they will containerize their applications for various benefits. One of the benefits is deployment. I mean, the deployments can become faster by sharing it in the form of an image. There are many other advantages why developers should learn. They should have the containerized environments. Again, what is a container? And that's a deep dive into the technical part, which we will get started from tomorrow. Am I making sense? The difference, the high level thing. So even developers should learn it, testers should learn it, and DevOps engineer, of course, they have to learn it. And who are a DevOps engineer and who are developers? Again, I'll differentiate that. Just give me a minute. Hope is this much clear, everyone? Like why DevOps came in to accelerate the speed of deployments. Docker, learning Docker doesn't need any coding. DevOps doesn't need any coding. Please mark this statement. I know many people are having this misconception, misunderstanding, misguidance that DevOps needs coding. No. Docker, building a Docker container, building a Docker images doesn't need coding. Okay, again, I'll again deep dive into those things. So, firstly, we were talking about why DevOps, right? Why I should learn DevOps, or else why DevOps came into picture. First reason, to accelerate the speed of deployment. Sorry for the color. Yeah. So to accelerate the speed of deployments, Docker came in. Okay, this is one of the reasons. Is that the only reason? Of course, there were so many reasons. Let me give you another simple reason now. Okay, like we were talking about dev team. Dev team, when I say dev, both dev and QA, I'm just putting them together, and ops teams. So ops teams are taking care of the complete infra. Dev team will be writing the code, building the, building the application. I mean, let me make it simple, designing the application and all. So during this process, and testers will be writing the test cases, they'll be using some automation or manual test cases at different levels, types, and so on. To execute these tasks successfully, right? To execute these tasks successfully, they may need some servers, some infrastructure, right? So if they need any infrastructure, any new servers, any new services, or any networks, whatever they need for this, they would be requesting the ops teams. Ops teams should serve the request of developers by provide developers or QA team by providing the infra they need. Right. So during this process, before they serve the request of dev and QA teams, they would do lot many changes. Right. They would do lot many changes. Lot many changes in the sense they have to check if they made these changes. Is the infra going to be still stable? Is the infra going to be stable? Are any networks going to be disconnected? Or any logins going to be affected? Any services going to be terminated? So they should do lot of checks before they serve the request. Meanwhile, developers team, development or QA team is still waiting for the changes they need. Meanwhile, ops teams are still working, they are taking some time, right? So there arises some gap between the teams because developers always think that ops teams take too much time to serve the request. And infra team, ops teams or infra team thinks that development team or QA team are always requesting something which they are not sure of. And there arises some gap between the teams. This is because ops teams always need stability in the infra. They are responsible for managing stable infra, stable servers, services. right? And development team would think always about agility in the infrastructure. There arises some gap because there is no proper understanding, proper collaboration between them, right? Teams should collaborate well, right? But this is missing. How can they bring together? How can they collaborate well? That's where again for the teams to collaborate well, here again I want to clarify or remove some misunderstanding about when I say they should collaborate well. It doesn't mean that DevOps engineer will go and write the code. It doesn't mean that tester will write the code or developers will do the DevOps tasks. No, there are still three teams are still there. Development team is still there. QA team will be a separate team. DevOps team will be a separate team. There are a lot of misconception which I notice, maybe because of so many factors. But the thing is, people think that DevOps team will only write the code. No, for developing an application, there is a separate team of developers. For testing it, there is a separate team of QA, DevOps. Collaboration means they communicate well, they interact well, they understand each other, right? That is possible with DevOps. These three teams are brought together in DevOps methodology. How? I'll tell you. Okay, but understand this gap can be eliminated when they come together with a proper collaboration. Proper collaboration means each team understand challenges of others, right? Each team understand why the team is taking so much time for this, and there's a proper collaboration, no more blame game. Obviously, productivity increases. That's the second reason why DevOps came in. Kubernetes doesn't need coding. I'm an experienced certified professional in Kubernetes where I have experience setting up Kubernetes clusters from scratch on on-prem as well as on EKS extensively. I have never written coding for Kubernetes. These are all like I definitely understand because there's the buzzword in the market, lot of plethora of materials flying over the internet which with wrong guidance, wrong understandings, but that's the fact. And there's a question from Deshmukh. Sorry, this is a question from Yogesh. Is a coding needed for Kubernetes? Another question. Non-technical background person will easily learn this course or need some prerequisite for this course. No prerequisites needed. Why? Oh, I'll explain in few minutes. Okay, give me 5 more minutes. I'll explain why you don't need the coding. How can we use AI to simply CI and CD? Do you already know CI CD, Kumar? If you already know CI CD, if you are extensively using CI CD, then comes the AI part. Without knowing what is CI CD, without having great experience in CI CD, implementing AI would be a blind walk. You should have a rigorous experience in CI/CD so that you can implement AI to it. See, AI like artificial intelligence, whether it is a chat GPT or inbuilt tools in your or in-house tools, all of them works like a helping hand, like an assistant. They cannot just replace your role. At least for DevOps, at least for now. Of course, DevOps engineer with the right skill set and expertise, not that anyone with a DevOps code or a DevOps designation, but the real expertise, if you have real expertise in DevOps, you cannot be replaced with AI. Because like it can be means a real DevOps engineer with a real expertise can use the benefits of AI to enhance the deployments, to optimize the pipelines and to bring maximum potential, maximum benefits to it. But it's not just anyone can just use AI and bring something into the project. That doesn't work. Right. I'm talking about why DevOps came in. I'll take up other questions in some time. Let's stick to the context. I'll take any questions out of context before I close. Okay. I'll cover all the questions out of context also before I close the webinar today. But let me just go through the context now. I'll again come to the questions panel in few minutes. So speed of deployments, collaboration, and what else? To overcome the problems posed by traditional software methodologies. What are the traditional software methodologies? First of all, what is a software methodology? Software Development Lifecycle, SDLC. You might be aware of it. If you don't know it also, no problem. And how beginners will cope up with this course, I'll also cover that part. Just give me a few minutes. SDLC is nothing but Software Development Lifecycle, which involves sequence of stages in development. First, requirement gathering. Requirement should be gathered from the client. Then comes requirement analysis. design, coding, testing, delivery, and maintenance. Right? So you have the different phases, I mean, different stages like this. Each goes one by one from the top to bottom. First gathering, then analysis, then design, coding. Each goes one after the other. Right? Means, let's say first requirements will be gathered, analyzed, design, then coding begins. Let's say it is in the coding stage. Then if client comes with the new requirements, it's not possible. I think you might have understood I'm talking about typical methodology called waterfall methodology. Yes, this has served the industry for decades, but it has got lot many challenges, right? Lot many challenges faced by both the development team and ops team. It's a very slow model, right? Developers will be working on the new code at the same time bugs will be identified from the old code. They have to work on new code as well as fix the bugs in the old code, which is a challenge. No modifications will be accepted. It's not a flexible model. It just goes in one direction. If you are in coding phase, if developers are writing the code, then if new requirements comes from the client, they cannot be accommodated, right? So if they cannot accommodate new requirements, new modifications, it doesn't work in reality. Let's say requirements are freezed. You get the requirements in 2025, they are freezed. No more modifications or new requirements will be taken. And the product will be delivered all at once after 2 years. Without modifying anything, without accepting new requirements, if the deliver the product after 2 years, client doesn't need it anymore. Business changes rapidly, right? You cannot without accepting any requirements. It's a customer facing world. Business changes rapidly. If we don't accept any requirements, it doesn't work in reality. Similarly, ops teams face last of challenges because it's a slow model. They have to maintain servers up and running, monitoring, configuration management. These are all the challenges as everything is manual. What is configuration management? What is monitoring? There are dedicated chapters for it. I'm just giving you an overview. There are so many challenges. To overcome all these challenges, there came again DevOps methodology. When I'm talking about waterfall, let me also touch on Agile methodology, right? As a waterfall methodology, to overcome these challenges, actually Agile came in. But Agile was successful only to overcome the challenges of development team. But challenges of ops team are still there. It can overcome only to this part. But challenges of operations are still there. That's where DevOps came in, which can overcome challenges of both the dev team and ops team. Right? So you don't have to learn waterfall, agile and all, but just because I'm comparing, you need to have an idea that these are different software methodologies, different software methodologies. DevOps is a methodology. Yes, it's a methodology. It's not a tool or it's not a programming or it's not some automation. It's about a methodology. The mindset of people should change. It's a cultural change. What does it mean and all we'll discuss. But just let me take one more step back. How can Agile overcome challenges of developers? Agile will have weekly releases, frequent releases. Every week, every alternative week, there will be a release, right? And code is always stable and ready for deployment. Let's say you take a week one. Code will be developed in bits and parts, in chunks. Here, chunk A is developed on week one. Immediately on week two, that particular A code chunk A will be tested. Meanwhile, developers are not sitting idle. They'll develop another chunk of code B. At some point of time, in some time, again A and B will be tested. Means testing is happening immediately the next week, not after 6 months, which is very effective. And if you notice, every week both development team and testing are happening. Means they are working together with proper collaboration, proper understanding. So they were brought together. That's why we call dev and QA like a dev in terms of DevOps. So they were brought together, they were working with a proper collaboration, proper understanding. But ops teams are still left over, right? That's where DevOps came in. So the whole point to understand is DevOps came in to overcome the challenges of all these traditional methodologies of waterfall methodology, agile methodology, and so on. Right? That is the advantage of DevOps. Am I clear till this part? How we will learn with hands-on from tomorrow? I'll differentiate them before we get into what is DevOps. So let me tell you here. So second reason is to have proper collaboration between the teams, and drawbacks of overcome the shortcomings or drawbacks of
Hi Preeti.
traditional. Yes, hello.
For learning the Terraform, we require Python language now. Python is
Terraform
required for
never
learning.
uses Python. Terraform uses HCL, the templating language, HashiCorp language provisioned by Terraform itself. Python doesn't come into Terraform at all.
Okay.
Right. So these are the reasons, some of the reasons why DevOps came in. Okay. And one more thing, like any unanswered questions, if there are in the chat, I'll pick up them. Okay. Don't worry. We'll answer all of those questions before we close. Right. So we were talking about what is DevOps, and then why DevOps came in. Now, what is DevOps? So what is DevOps? It's a methodology. It's a cultural change. It's not just automating, or it's not just about just putting all the tools together. It's a methodology, it's a cultural change. Mindset of people should change. How it works? In DevOps, we have continuous development. Okay, let me differentiate with respect to three methodologies like waterfall, then agile, and DevOps. Okay, in waterfall, first development starts, then it goes for testing, then deployment and monitoring, one after the other, everything manually. Right? Only after complete coding testing is done, then becomes deployment and all. In Agile, continuous development, because every week development testing happens parallelly, iteratively, and then the new changes will be merged into the system and again tested. That's called continuous integration. We have separate chapters dedicated for them. We'll talk about it. And then comes continuous deployment, and then continuous I'm sorry, in agile you still have deployment, which is manual. This is agile, right? So deployment is manual again all at once, and then monitored. But in DevOps, continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, along with a continuous deployment, means any feature developed by developer will hit the production table automatically. This is called DevOps. And the term continuous is important, means it's happening iteratively, continuously, parallel. It's not that it begins one after the other. Yes, please. So this is what is DevOps. Okay, continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous development, and continuous monitoring. The term continuous is important because it is iterative. Means, let me tell you, from the desk of a developer. Okay, this is where developer is writing the code. He has written some code till it reaches the how it reaches the production table automatically. That is where a DevOps engineer comes in. Once developer is ready with the code, once testers are ready with the test cases, how do you take the code to production table automatically is nothing but DevOps. Whoever interested in DevOps will be working in this part. Once developer is ready with the code, how do you put it to production automatically? Right? That's what is DevOps. This is the area where DevOps engineer will work. Okay, see, development team is still there. They will write the code and hand over the code. Testers will be still there. They will write the test cases. How do you take the code to production? Of course, there are so many stages, validations involved, right? There'll be testing. How do you automate those test cases in the pipeline? This is called CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Any feature released by developers will reach the production table automatically. Have you ever wondered, like if you are using any shopping applications like Amazon or else any networking social media like Facebook and all, you can see features delivered overnight. Have you ever wondered how it's happening? You don't have to wait for months or years for features to be delivered. They will be delivered in minutes using this CI/CD pipelines. Facebook is a best example who implements this continuous deployments. That's a best example. So who will build this CI/CD pipelines? Like what are all the tools to be used here? What are the strategies to be involved in here? All of that will be learned in this DevOps course. So whoever interested to work in this area can become a DevOps engineer. Whatever required for this will be covered continuously. Just give me 1 minute. I'm sorry, had some disturbance at the back end. So this is what is DevOps. Whoever want to work in this particular area can become a DevOps. So whatever needed for this to become a DevOps engineer, like anything needed here will be covered from the basics till advanced concepts, so that you can clear your interviews and work in the project confidently. That's the agenda of this course. And if you want me to differentiate with respect to teams, yes, you will have a separate in waterfall methodology, dev team, QA team, ops team. They are working in isolation, in separation, means there is no communication. They don't interact because after complete development testing begins and also they don't interact, they are working in silos. But in Agile, because there's continuous development and continuous testing, these two teams were brought together in Agile. Okay, and that's called that we are referring, they are brought together means they're still separate teams, but they are proper collaboration, they are communicating regularly, they understand the challenges of others, but still ops team is left in isolation. Then in DevOps, even these two teams were brought together, which is nothing but DevOps. Brought together means they are working in this methodology. Developers will write the code. Their code will go through this pipeline of continuous development, continuous builds, and so on, right? So because their code is going through this process, continuous builds and all, they know what is happening, and they would be constantly in touch with development team. DevOps team will be constantly communicating with their partner teams. That's another important thing for DevOps, communicating with their partner teams. Got it right, all of you? Any questions from anyone in this part? I see a hand raised some time back. Now I don't see it. Please raise your hand again. I missed it. Who raised it? Please raise your hand again. Is
Sorry
it
for
up?
interrupting. Priti, why nowadays companies are looking for Python?
Python is not a part of DevOps. Python is not a mandatory for DevOps. Okay, I'm into DevOps field from almost 8 to 9 years, and I'm into different roles relevant to DevOps, but I have never used Python till now. It's a good to have skill. It's not a skill set of a DevOps engineer.
For scripting, they're using the Python language. Is it right?
No, we don't use Python. We never use. I haven't used Python, and DevOps engineer will not use Python as a mandatory skill. It's a good to have skill.
Okay. Nowadays, like in JD job description, they're mentioning like Python.
That's a good to have skill. Okay, good to have skill means it's a good to have, but it's not mandatory. Yes, they are mentioning it because the job descriptions are not apt. They are just dumping everything into DevOps. And one more thing, if you see a job description for deep knowledge in Python or deep knowledge in some scripting, some shell scripting and all, that's not for you. That's not a DevOps role, because there were so many tools came in now which are replacing this scripting, I mean automation through scripting and all. If the project is still stuck in the way, that is not helping you if you get into that also.
Okay. Nowadays,
Right?
which one is
But
better for
just
Azure?
1 second, 1 second. So yeah, please go on.
Depends
Yeah, yeah,
in terms of
yeah,
which one
yeah.
is better for
One
learning.
second, sorry, 1 second. So what I'm saying is, yes, if there are such certain roles named as DevOps engineer, but looking for rigorous DevOps skills, that's not for you. Tell me one thing. There is a DevOps role. Actually, this is what is DevOps. Like automation with Docker containers, right? Containerizing the applications, containerizing the environments. Kubernetes, maintaining high availabilities and deploying the applications with Kubernetes, Terraform, Ansible. These are the core tools of DevOps. This is the actual proper designation of DevOps engineer. If there are older projects which are stuck up still automating with shell scripting, and if they are looking for people with shell scripting, this is for people who are coming from admin background, like maybe Linux admins, they should opt for it. And if you are opting for it, it's not a DevOps role, it's not helping you. Just tell me one thing, would you get more packages learning these tools or in this part? If you are going for such a role, you are taking a step back, not to a new DevOps, modern DevOps projects. It's a step back. Shell scripting could be a part of it, just a basic might be there here and there. Not again every project. That's why it's a good to have skill. Either it is shell scripting or Python. I'm placing both of them. But just relying on Python and looking for a Python developer, it's for developer or for admins who have scripting background. Go for the job roles which are focusing on this particular skills. And of course, I missed one more important thing, Jenkins. This is what is a DevOps role that will help you in the long run. That is a proper DevOps role. If you are focusing on such things, such DevOps roles where they are looking for this, this is for people who are coming from Linux admins or development backgrounds. This is for them. So not that if there are 100 job postings, not that you will be suitable for all the 100. Choose what you want. Whether you want to become a DevOps engineer with this skill set, which are highly paid. Just search in the job market. Just search in the pay scale trends. Which tool is highly paid? Kubernetes professionals are highly paid in the market right now. Kubernetes Terraform professionals. Would you go for this kind of JDs, this kind of roles, or would you prefer this one? So it's a call up to you. Just because they mention DevOps doesn't mean it's a DevOps focusing role. It means they are looking for some people with some Linux admin backgrounds or from development backgrounds. If you are interested for such, yes, you can go for it. So it's a choice between. If there are 100 job postings for DevOps engineers, not that 100 job postings you will be eligible for. You will be eligible for certain job postings into it. So focus on that, which will help you in the long run, which will be helpful for help you in increasing your packages. That should be the focus. So this is not for us. This is not mandatory. This is not a mandatory tool or a part of DevOps at all. It's a good to have skill. Do you focus on good to have skill or mandatory skills which are having lot of demand? There is shortage of Kubernetes experts in the market. The demand is growing high. Every company is moving into DevOps. Kubernetes, Docker, Jenkins, these are hot in the market. So
Terraform
if
also.
you want to focus on this also, let's say I want to cover both of them, that will not be possible. Let's say I want to cover Jenkins, means I want to cover in sense, let's say you are thinking to master all of these, including shell scripting Python, that will not work because Python itself is a development course which will take some 6 months, or shell scripting also if you want to deep dive. So make a choice between which one you want to go for. So the course
Terraform.
which I'm teaching is
Uh,
for DevOps with all these core tools and this skill set. Still any questions? Please go on.
Terraform also is important, no? Nowadays.
Yes, it is. It is. That's why I listed in the box.
Priti, what is the Argo CD? What is the useful of tool?
Yes,
Can you
Argo CD is a GitOps tool. Even that is having demand. Argo CD will also be covered in the course,
please
which
repeat it?
implements GitOps principles. We will cover that deeply once we get into the course.
Yeah,
Like I
same.
told you, I will,
But
yes, please.
when we
Please go on. Someone is saying, right?
So
Nothing.
are you covering Unix part also?
yeah, so Python with Boto 3 is a
Are you
Just
covering
now
Unix
I
part?
think, just now I explained. These are the good to have skills, not mandatory skills. I will not cover Python in the course. Shell scripting basics will be covered.
Which cloud platform you're telling, like Azure or
Oh,
AWS?
Let me go through. Okay, please listen the explanation. I'm covering all of those things. Okay, if those are not covered, again, I'll come to this part. Right, I'm talking
Right.
about why DevOps came in, what is DevOps, right? Let me talk about the skill set which will be covered, which will be needed for DevOps engineer. And this is the presentation which covers like why DevOps came in, or whatever I have explained is given here in the presentation with the clean documentation, right? You can go through this. This is all all of these things will be provided for reference to you. You can go through this from your end. Whatever I have explained is given here. Coming to roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. To answer this question in the interview, we will cover many scenarios in our course reflecting or mapping to this roles and responsibilities. All the real scenarios will be covered end to end so that you can explain in your projects confidently. What are all the scenarios we work on? Yes, we work on CI/CD pipeline. DevOps engineers should be working in any part of the CI/CD pipeline. They should be able to create the CI/CD pipelines from the scratch. What are all the tools? What are the skill set needed will be covered here, right? And then provisioning infrastructure with the Terraform, that's again a roles or responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. Maintaining Kubernetes clusters, managing the deployments on Kubernetes clusters, configuring the infrastructure with Terraform, all of these will be covered. I'm not explaining here what is Terraform, what is Ansible today. It's a deeper topics which we'll be covering as we progress with the course. Here I'm just giving you the gist of the things. And then skills and tools of a DevOps engineer. This is the brief skill set I have mentioned here. Like we should be having an idea of version control systems. What is a version control system? Like we will be like, 1 second, sorry. Yeah. So version control systems, there are many version control systems to manage your configuration files, Terraform manifest files, right? You need a version control system. There were so many version control systems in the market like SVN, TFS, Perforce, and so on. We'll be covering the market leader, which is Git. So these are the different categories: version control systems, build automation tools, continuous integration tools, containerization tools, infrastructure as a code tools, orchestrator, monitoring and computing tools. So these are all the different categories we have. In each of these, I'm covering the market leaders, means which are very widely used. Also, if you master expertise one tool under the category, right, you can learn, you can switch to other tools very easily. So here I am covering Git under version control systems, Maven and so on. You can see the list. This is just a brief list. All of these tools along with this Orgo CD will be covered. JFrog will be covered. Artifactory tool, Orgo CD, which is using GitOps principles, will be covered. JFrog will be covered. And Prometheus, Grafana, Kubernetes, Docker Swarm. Of course, Docker is like more than 10 days, like Docker Compose will be covered. Lot many things are here. And all of this will be executed. Here, the focus is DevOps. We'll be covering DevOps irrespective of the platform. DevOps is a methodology. Like I told you, it's not a technology or it's not a programming language, right? It's a methodology. What is meant by methodology? It's a methodology means it's a process, right? So in this, we will be using all these tools. It can be applied irrespective of the platform. Means you can implement DevOps on cloud or else on on-prem also. So once you complete this course, you will be implement your DevOps either on cloud or on on-prem, irrespective of the platform. As an example of cloud, we'll be covering on AWS. If you know or have knowledge on AWS, other clouds would be similar. So like I told you, learn one tool under category. Similarly, under clouds, learn one cloud, which is AWS. Here we'll be covering DevOps on AWS. If you are good with this, you can implement on any cloud. That's why companies are looking at. When we sit in the interview panel, we see that if people know one cloud, that should be fine. We are not specific about a particular tool, I mean, particular cloud only they should know, because different tools are coming up. It's evolving. Market is evolving. New tools are coming up. It's not that people should be bound to one tool or one cloud, right? So people should be learning I mean, if you have one cloud, expectation is that you can be switching over to other cloud as per the requirement. That should be the focus. It's not that you just sit and learn AWS, Azure, GCP, all the clouds, everything. No. One tool under each category, one cloud under the category, right? So AWS will be covering it on with respect to on-prem setup as well as the cloud setup, which is on AWS. Also, like we'll be learning Linux basics. This will be covered from basics till whatever needed as a DevOps engineer. So these are the things we'll be covering in our course. Again, AWS services, lot of the things are there relevant to our DevOps, like in Kubernetes, we'll be covering EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. All of those things will be covered, right? This is a brief
Oh,
course content. The detailed course content will be available here. If you visit our website, okay, just come here to the live training, sorry, home page, and here is the
Preeti,
syllabus.
I have one question.
One second, please. One second. This is the course content. Of course, here again, not all topics are listed. Like Argo CD is not listed here. JFrog is not listed here. This documentation needs update. That is one thing. Another thing, you might be having a question, what are the benefits of this course? Why should you enroll for this course? Because anyone will get the same question, right? There are hundreds of platforms now in the market. There were a lot of material over the internet. Why you can also learn going through those materials available. Why you should go for this course? This course is created by me, curating all the content, all my experience from the trainings, all my experience in the real world, all my experience in interviewing the candidates. So that's how I prepare this. Let me just show you. Just go to preetidevops.com. This is very important and this is the very core component of this training. So let me walk you through this before I take up your queries. All of your queries, I'll stay back and I'll answer. But just let me show you this. Just log in here with a free account, preferably Gmail account. Okay, go here, and once you go there, you will be seeing your learning management system. And of course, if you are like a new candidate, you can also have the free LMS trial. Free LMS trial. Here you can see LMS trial on the live training page. LMS trial access. Like you will get, every one of you, if you create a free account on this website, will get the free learning management system access for a couple of days to have the experience of this management system. So this is where you will see your program, like a July program. Um, Once you go here, every day class recording will be posted here, right? Like it's a day one, it's like a discussion and intro. So it will be here, like we don't have any labs for today. And once you just move on to the next day, right? See here, day wise videos will be there. Git video. Once we start Git, from tomorrow on, we'll start with the first tool in the course, which is Git. You will have lab exercises, quiz, interview questions pertaining to that particular day, right? Means if you just again go to the lab assignment, okay, let me take you through these things also. Means day by day, means day wise learning. I have created this split up day wise, whatever hands on we have done, everything will be here. The idea is hands on is mandatory. 98% of DevOps will be hands on. Everyone should have this lab setup and do the hands on to facilitate this, because people will be stuck up doing the hands on after going after the class, right? How do we facilitate? Here clean clear documentation is there with the steps and explanation to help you with the hands on, right? Even the quiz is to register the things. Okay, you have learned something, master whatever you have learned on daily basis. Not that you will master this after completing the course. Also, it's not that have a lengthy course, like keep all the dump and put it as 6 months course or 1 year course. It doesn't work in reality. What the market needs, what the interviewer needs, what are the tools, what are the topics we use in reality. This should be the focus for someone to get into the, to make a switch in the career. Kubernetes documentation, if you see official documentation, I can teach Kubernetes alone for 1 year. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help you in any way to get into Kubernetes quickly, right? So the course is created by me, curating what is the market need, what is the need of the hour, what are the skills that we are looking for a candidate when they are entering the job, when they are coming into the team, what are the skills that we look for a candidate. Those are the topics that are given focus with a backed up with a real scenario, so that you can sustain in the market, you can work in your projects confidently. Once every topic, I'll come to that again. So every topic, I'll come to this pipeline part in some time. So every topic will be covered from the basics till advanced. It's not just okay, complete the topic, just go on for the next topic. No, We'll cover the topics as per the context, as per the scenario based teaching will be here, covering real and the live scenarios. Means, like let's say we are covering Git. After completing it, it's not just moving on to next tool. We will integrate this in our pipeline in the CI/CD. See here, this is the CI/CD pipeline integrating different tools. So first we will learn Git, master it thoroughly in such a way that you can answer any question in the interview on this Git. Once it is done, learn Jenkins, come back and add it to the pipeline. Then learn Maven, come back and add it to the pipeline. Like that, a pipeline will be created step by step, zooming into every section, zoom into every tool, master it, then integrate it into the pipeline. That is the focus. It's not just learning the tool. And AWS will be spread throughout the course. And that means that's a spread actually horizontally. Even Linux is horizontal across, meaning it's not just, okay, I'll start AWS chapter 1 to 10 topics, finish it, go on to next. No, AWS is horizontally scoped. Means on day 1, I need EC2 service, I'll cover EC2 service. Then on day 5, or sorry, on day 10, maybe I need EKS service, then I'll cover EKS service. On day 12 or day 4th, I need security groups, I'll cover security groups. So as per the context, I'll cover the AWS topics, that is spread throughout the course, because you should know why I should learn security group, right? It's not just I'll teach security group, load balancer, one by one, finish it. As per the scenario, as per the requirement, we'll pick up that. It is spread throughout. Even Jenkins is spread across, like horizontally throughout the course. Of course, many tools as such, particularly AWS and Linux, will be learning new things till the end of the course. Jenkins will be using throughout the course, because see here we'll be creating the pipeline in Jenkins, integrating each tool one by one. Learn each tool, master it, zoom into it thoroughly, then come back and add it. Like this, we'll create pipelines on multiple applications. Two projects will be covered in the course, a monolithic one and a microservice application, integrating all the tools from the scratch and going till advanced concepts. This pipeline creation will take some time, like 2 months. Like I told you, it's not just we'll complete all it in one day, like scenario based learning will be there, right? That is how we have the complete labs daily basis, everyday recording, because we have people in different time zones. Passive learners are there who will watch the recording. So the recording, lab exercise, everything were placed day wise. But of course, interview questions, if you see interview questions relevant to that particular day, again they were beginner level, intermediate level, advanced level. They're like depending on the levels they were categorized. These interview questions again are not dumped from an internet. These are all curated questions created by me, right? You have, let's say you want to this interview questions have got a lot of good feedback, right? If you go here, there are interview questions tool based also, not only day wise. Let's say you have an interview in couple of days, going through this interview portal will help you a lot. There is a lot of good feedback from the students who have cleared just by going through these interviews or questions also. So this is very, very important, backed up with all the data. See, Docker interview questions, that's how it is. Similarly, let's say you want to go through all the labs at once, you want to practice all the labs. If you want to see all the labs together, you can also check here. On the home, you have lab assignments, that is to notes. One second, live training, LMS, lab notes. Okay. Okay, let me go from here itself. Okay, these are all again documentation format. These are all in the text-based format. You have different formats, whichever is convenient, you can go here. Right, this is day wise. Let me just trying to go from here to the day wise. Okay, all of them put together, day 2, day 3, day 4, and so on. If you click that, you will be navigated into the day 5 complete part, right? So that's how the lab assignments, the quiz, the interview questions, all of them will help you. Your learning, speed up your learning, understand it thoroughly, with backed up with the assignments, backed up with the quiz, backed up with the interview questions. That's how this can be helpful. See here, day wise, everything is there. Some demo videos you can also watch. Topic wise demo videos also, like Kubernetes demo, Docker demo. If you want, you can also watch them. And if you want to enroll for the course, this is the buy course link where you can purchase. There is a discount available today. This is the coupon code. And if you have one more thing, along with these things, you will be added to a separate private WhatsApp group to post your queries, screenshots if you have any questions, right? So that's how where we'll help you if you are stuck up with your hands on. Complete monitoring, tracking your learning will be there so that you will be equipped. Not that after 6 months you apply and you try to make a move. By the end of this course, we'll ask everyone to market your resume, build your resumes, put your resumes in the portal, right? We can help you build custom resumes also. Okay, and if you go through this by the course, all of the details, the LMS access, you will get completely automatically. You will receive an email with all the LMS access. If you still have any questions, this is the WhatsApp number of Mr. Raj. He is a training counselor. Who can guide you, who can help you for any sort of questions regarding the regarding the course logistics. And the lab setup will be done on AWS. The free lab setup will be done, like how to do it and all. Again, that will be covered in the course. Now I'm taking the questions from the chat window. Meanwhile, any questions you have, feel free to bring up those questions. I'm going through those questions now. For okay, any kind of programming exposure required for DevOps and create CI/CD pipelines from scratch? No, Verma, not required. And there's a question from Kumar. Job description varies from project to project. That's not a mandatory that everyone should know the programming language. Correct, Kumar. Programming language is not a part of DevOps. Programming language is not used in DevOps. And there is a question from Venkatesh. What about Terraform and Ansible? Can you please explain? Terraform is infrastructure provisioning tool. Ansible is a configuration management tool. We will write Terraform configuration files and Ansible playbooks. How to do that, we will explain from the scratch. You don't have to have programming for it. Those are like Ansible is a YAML base and Terraform is HCL base. How to prepare those configuration files easily will help you with. You don't have to there. That's not called as coding. That's not coding is not required for it. What tool will be used on Windows Server? These tools are not specific to any operating system, Shankar. They are open source and they work on multiple operating systems. DevOps, like I told you, it's not specific to any particular platform or any particular cloud. It is irrespective of the platform, operating system, and all. You can implement DevOps on any environment. Okay, how to set up your lab will help you with. You don't have to have Linux and Linux laptops for it, not required. How do you set up the environment? We will teach you. I'm going through questions one by one. Okay. And what about Azure DevOps, says Vivek? Actually, it's all misunderstanding that there is a AWS DevOps is different, Azure DevOps is different. DevOps is a methodology. Irrespective of the platform, you can implement it. If you are implementing it on AWS, the people coined it as a people calling it as AWS DevOps. Concepts are same, analogies are same, strategies, CI/CD pipelines are there. There might be some specific cloud-based services user there. If you know experience, if you have worked with one cloud, other clouds would be similar. And Srinivas says Linux commands from basics. Yes, Linux will be taught from the basics. You don't have to worry about it. Everything will be taught from the basics. Just come with an open mind. We have people from different backgrounds, different experience levels. We have freshers, we have project managers also. We have people from science background. We have people from IT, non-IT. We have mixed group. We will cover everything from basics till advanced, not just basics, because that's how projects will be using. Skill set
Um,
DevOps
I,
only covered or Azure, AWS, GCP also cover. DevOps on AWS will be covered, Yogesh. And there's a question from Abhishek. Python with Boto 3 versus Terraform. Python, it's a programming language. Terraform is an infra provisioning tool, infrastructure provisioning tool. Both are two different. Python is a coding programming language, right? Which is more needed as per market share. Obviously, Terraform, Abhishek. Both are two different categories actually. You cannot compare them. They are not under the same category. Terraform doesn't need coding, Ravi. And there is one question after finishing course, can we have 5 year experience in your resume? You can, Parag. It all depends on how much expertise you are doing. We have to spend time and do the hands-on definitely. We are here to help you. If you are really serious and trying to make a move, this is the right platform for you and we are here to help you. To claim that expertise, Complete rigorous hands-on is needed, which will be provided backed up with our lab assignments and all. Lab access lifetime or limited. Lab will be set up on your own end. Means you will be creating a free account on AWS. Right? Once it expires, you can again create a free account on AWS. How to do that, we'll teach you. So lab will be set up on everyone's private AWS account. Everyone will be creating their own free AWS account. Everyone will be creating their own free AWS account. We'll be helping you with that. And there's a question from Vaibhav, lab access lifetime. Oh, I think I answered this. Yes, please go on. Someone is asking. Hmm?
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Okay, so just as a question. So as you said, microservices. So when the developer is developing API, uh, any after developing, so after deploying into the GKE, so we need to generate the URL application URL, and so we need to whitelist those URL as a DevOps.
Developing an API, developing an application, whatever it is, that will be done by developers. They will also
Yeah, that is.
containerize the application. Okay, they will also containerize and they'll create a Docker image for their application. You have to deploy this Docker image on various environments. How do you deploy? What are the endpoints? Whether you have to whitelist or it's not mandatory that you should whitelist all. It depends on the environment on the platform. We will cover those topics clearly, right, from the real world perspective.
Yeah, okay. Whitelisting the URLs and generating the URLs also will cover this
Clear, please. Your
session.
voice is not clear. Clear and louder. Whitelisting.
Whitelisting the URLs and generating the application URLs also cover in this session. Event.
That's what I'm telling. Like, why should you whitelist? It's not mandatory for all applications, right? It depends on the platform. How do you expose your application to real world? What is the actual practice? We'll cover. You don't have to whitelist mandatorily. What are you whitelisting there? And why should you whitelist? Applications are, it depends. If something is blocking when your application, you have to whitelist. But what is blocking? It depends on your environment, right? If you can elaborate your question to the context, I can help you better. Yes, but the thing is, yes, once the application is handing over to you, how do you deploy it on Kubernetes clusters on AWS, and how do you expose them to the external world? Yes, those will be covered.
So as a DevOps engineer, we need to generate the images, right? So why should developers
Yes,
will
as a
generate?
DevOps engineer, we'll do that. As a DevOps engineer, we'll do that. Sometimes developers also can do for themselves in the
Yeah,
dev environments. Yes.
yeah. After setup done from the DevOps side, they will take care of that. Right? So that setup
It again
we
depends.
need.
It again depends. DevOps support team will be there or DevOps core team will be there. DevOps core team means developers will just write the code and containerize it. That's all. Then DevOps core team will create CI/CD pipelines for the scratch from the scratch, do everything regarding deployments and all. That's a DevOps core team. There is another aspect. Developers, they themselves have to create CI/CD pipelines, everything. That's the norm is there. Developers will do everything. Then where is the DevOps team coming? During support. Means if something is broken, some infrastructure is not available, if the infrastructure provision is not working, that's they'll raise a support ticket which DevOps support team will receive and fix it. That comes under support. Like everything, like in a development project, you have core development team as well as support team, right? Similarly, you will have DevOps core team as well as DevOps support also. So it depends whether DevOps team is creating it or only fixing it. It depends whether you are falling into DevOps core team or DevOps support team.
So in some organizations, so like my organization, so if there is no DevOps core team and there is no DevOps supporting, only DevOps person need to set up all these things, and DevOps that person need to support all these things. So in that
Means
case,
it's a DevOps core
it,
team only who is creating and also fixing it. DevOps core team. He will be called as like we can consider him as like a DevOps team, core team.
okay.
It depends in the startups, in a companies like startups. Even I had experience in such environments also in the startup companies or smaller companies, or else where the DevOps scope is less. There might be only one person or else one team which will be handling all the DevOps relevant things for, let's say, a bunch of projects, 5 projects. So that's a core team who will support as well as who will create it. It depends on organization to organization, the structure they have and all. Okay. Hope I answered your query. And then there's a question from Abhishek. When there is a continuous testing in pipeline, then are these test case executed automatically? Correct. The test case execution will happen automatically in the pipeline. That's where test case integration in the pipeline comes in. Which integration? Yes, DevOps engineer will. Who will write those automation test cases? Testers. Okay, what is the final artifact and how these artifacts trigger keep pipeline running continuously? Why, how do you do this? This is the answer which we'll do in the hands-on part, but you are asking about what is the final artifact? Final artifact for testing you are asking? Or a final artifact of the pipeline. See, developers will write the code. Whenever they write the code and ready, we'll pull the code, build it using Maven, create some artifacts, deploy it in the lower environments. First, deploy it in the lower environments like testing, staging, then pre-prod, and then to the prod environments. Right? Deploy to different environments. Again, run the test cases there. Once the test cases are successful, then deploy it onto the production. That's how it happens. The final artifact for developed from these test reports and all will be sent to the testing team, right? And also to the other stakeholder teams like development team, DevOps team to see how testing went and all. Once all the test cases are passed, it goes to the next stage and so on. If you are talking about the artifact like the generated when you build it, like the var file and all, those will be stored in the JFrog. That's what where we'll be covering JFrog as well. Okay. And any questions regarding the purchase, because I'm getting questions relevant to that, please ping this number on the website. He's Mr. Raj. He can help you with all those things. And a question from Arjun Reddy. Will you be explaining the problems faced while working with a tool, for example, Kubernetes, and how you resolve those issues? These questions will be asked in the interviews. Unless we work, we can't talk about this. Can you tell us what problems you face? Yes, Arjun, these questions will be covered. Means when we are dealing with the topic, the questions will be covered from the interview perspective, from the troubleshooting perspective as well. And Ashok says DevOps and DevSecOps. Like actually, when we say DevOps, even security stages also comes in. Some times, like it might be, I mean, in some projects, we'll call it as DevSecOps. Actually, integrating security also in the CI/CD pipeline is nothing but security. I mean, DevSecOps. Like emphasis on security in the CI/CD pipeline is nothing but DevSecOps. Nowadays, yes, almost all the pipelines will have security phases integrated, involved, right? Which is a DevSecOps.
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yes, please.
Yeah, as you have mentioned that AWS will be parallelly gone through the course. So even in the AWS, like you just mentioned, EC2, EKS and all, these are all new things to any person. Will you explain it in a lame way?
It will be covered from the basics till we integrate into the pipelines.
Sure. Another thing, once we enroll to your course, these access of your lab, your questions, your notes, everything will be for the lifetime, or will it be any restriction time for this?
Everything will be for lifetime. Even WhatsApp group created for you, a private WhatsApp group will also be for lifetime. Once you are enrolled with us, like anytime you can reach us for the help and for the access on these things.
Yes.
Lab setup also, you will be doing lab setup or your own. Means you will have your own free account. How to create the free account, once the free account expires, how to do that, all of that will be covered.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. And while doing the lab assignments, whatever is mentioned in the course, while we are doing, if we are stuck at a point and we need any assistance, is it we need to follow the structured or the structured format, or is it like we have one-to-one conversations where we can deal with it?
You have to post your, if it is after the class, like it's off class time, you can post in the WhatsApp group, post the screenshots, post the errors, we'll help you with. If you still have the question unresolved, if you want to discuss, we will discuss, we'll have a questionnaire every day in the class. There we will sort it out.
Okay. And there are some videos where you have just shown it on your platform, like every topic has its own video. Is it the pre-recorded video, or what we have heard in our session, will that be uploaded there? How is it like this?
Okay, you mean in the LMS?
Yes, is it?
The
Yes.
LMS, your own class recording will be there. I have shown you some batch which already had
Right.
few. So you will be every day having your own class recording. Even this will be created. If you go and create it, you will be seeing this July batch. After some time, this first class recording will be there.
Okay.
Your recordings will be there in that LMS.
Yeah, that's only because, in case scenario, if you miss the session for the live,
Yes.
we can have a recording session, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I told you, we have passive learners, people from other time zones. They obviously cannot join this time. So that's where they will view that also. So it's like this is how all the videos at one place mapped with their labs, assignments, the interview questions, so that you will get your learning without any blockers, and also the support WhatsApp group, everything. So that's how you can navigate through each video and learn it, or else the complete quiz, complete interview questions, complete lab assignments also available here.
One small request again. As you just told that everything will be from the scratch, I do understand. But there are people here with completely non-IT, like as a question, like, MBA. So it's like the same. Even I am a business student. So whatever the basic things, it might look very silly to you. But coming through our point of perspective, it is really very difficult to understand some things. Will you really explain those things also? Because,
Definitely,
mind.
definitely. That's the yeah, please go on. You are saying
Yeah,
yes.
that's the thing. Some terminologies, like, you earlier explained in the demo class as well, also like deployment.
Yes.
If we go in a generic form, that deployment word stands with a different meaning. But when it comes to your platform, it stands with another meaning. So in that context, will it be a clarity thing?
Definitely, I do understand and totally agree with you. With all my experience, I know people coming from different background. Only the request is come up with your queries at the moment, not just after 10 days saying that, look, I did not understand. No. If you have any small query, you can ask. I definitely understand deployment will be difficult for people like this terminology, but because I have to cover the overview, yes, those words we can't skip. That's why I told you in a layman terms, run the app. But once we deep dive into those topics, you will get clarity on it, right? So you can raise those questions if you have in the class, so that we'll deep dive into that. I mean, will help you to clarify those things from the basics, from a like a newbie perspective, and we'll be going ahead. So you can come up wherever you did not, whichever whatever point you did not get, that will help us clarify at that point itself and proceed.
Okay. And can you just help me out in accessing to the screen what I am able to see? I mean, like to your portal, what is it, please? Can you guide me, please?
Like you can just go to the website preetidevops.com and go to the live training. Okay, under this live training, LMS trial access. Then you will get this page.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let me go through the questions. There were so many questions in the Zoom chat. Please stay back. Okay, we'll cover all the questions and leave. So please stay back. I'm going through each question one by one. Uh, uh, okay, Abhishek says, will you be explaining certificate concepts, which path we should keep search secrets and only at this path in order to make our website secure completely? No one can sneak public key and private key, and how to make private registry and Docker with authentication. Yes, Abhishek, these concepts will be covered. And Mahesh says, can you also access the previous batch recording? Like I think if you enroll today, you will get a previous batch recording also, because like we did not get into the actual topic. From tomorrow onwards, actual topic begins. Actually, previous batch recordings will be provided for people whoever enrolled till yesterday, right? Until the batch begins. But if you have a request, whoever enrolled today also we can provide, but not later on. And any more questions from anyone? Have I answered all the queries, or still anyone want to put any queries? Please feel free to put your queries again.
Yeah, please. I have one more question. So, network VPC and firewall cities different from one environment to another environment, right? So, those topic also cover in this station.
Will be different from, come again. Those will.
Environment, right?
Okay, VPC, all of these are now on cloud, right? We were having our infra most of the times on the cloud. So VPC concepts, network endpoints, egress ingress rules, internet gateway, route tables will be covered. Yes, we are covering them on AWS. Once you have clarity on, like I told you, right, similar clouds will have similar
Yeah.
components, similar analogy will be used.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, there is a question from Akhil. Ma'am, can MBA graduate do this? Definitely, you can do this. If you need more clarity on that career counseling, please contact Mr. Raj on this WhatsApp number. Yes, please go on.
Hi, ma'am. Jan this side. Ma'am, as you told you, if we add security, if we integrate security in the DevOps, right, it becomes DevSecOps, right?
Mm.
So I heard, ma'am, so many things like they are adding FinOps, right? Dev FinOps, Dev MLOps, right, ma'am? So, what does it what does it mean, ma'am? Like machine learning they are adding, right?
DevOps implemented for machine language applications is a MLOps, right? For ML,
Mhm.
machine language, machine learning applications, sorry, machine learning applications, if DevOps is implemented, that is MLOps. You have to focus on DevOps. To go through any of them, let's say you want to focus on only machine language, first of all, you should know DevOps. Implementing it on machine learning applications is nothing but MLOps. So first you should know DevOps to get into those parts. And one more thing you asked, fintech, all of these are similar things, concentrating on the financial part of the organization, like the AWS finances and all, that's a FinOps. But all of that, see, just name, you see it as a FinOps, but it's a different thing, not a DevOps relevant thing. But MLOps, yes, it's for machine language applications. First of all,
So,
you should
ma'am, it
know
is also
DevOps.
okay.
Hmm?
So it is also a methodology, right? Or
It
it's
is,
just a
yes,
add-on of into the
yes,
DevOps.
correct, correct.
Okay. So, ma'am, will you also teach this security part?
Security part will be integrated, yes. Like for images, for container image scanning, image scan will be there and all. Not deep dive into it, but it will be integrated. Because see, whenever you are working, like let's say, whenever we are building the application and creating the artifacts from them, these stages can be integrated by using the add-ons. I'll give you idea on how to do that. You'll get a clarity on how you can implement that after this course.
All right, ma'am. All right. Thanks.
Hello, Preeti.
Yes, hello.
Can you provide me today's recording video, if you don't mind?
Yes, it will be posted in this learning management system. Go to the website and have a free account there. So your video, I mean, you can see the recording in couple of minutes in your LMS. Everyone will have the free trial and access for today. So you can watch it again there.
Thank you.
We'll also share that in the WhatsApp group as well.
Yeah, hello, Prati.
Yeah, hi.
For enrollment, do we need to pay entire amount or is there any installment amount?
Can you please ping us on this number? Generally, there are no installments, but just please ping Mr. Raj on this number. He can guide you on that.
Okay, okay, fine. What is the duration of this course?
2 months. The course duration is 2 months.
Okay, fine. I need some, guidance for the career. Can I add this question over here, or else can I call to Roger?
Guidance on career.
See, I'm the BCom student.
Okay, okay.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm the BCom student. In 2017, I have passed out. So
Okay,
after that, I have placed for the TCS and I worked for the TCS 4.5 years.
okay,
So while working in TCS, I have made a mistake, which is moonlighting for 6 months.
okay.
So Moonlight, I'm wondering so if I learn this course, if I grab the interview, then if I got selected somewhere in any other companies, so then they will allow me to join the company or else what? So
Are you working? Are you working anywhere now? What is your current?
yes, yes, I'm working now in non-technical background.
Okay. You will
So
be. Hmm.
after the moonlighting, I left the my previous company TCS.
Mhm.
So then after that, within 3 months, I have joined some other company.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Perfectly, you'll be eligible. Yes, you can reach out to Mr. Raj. Okay, he can guide you. I mean, he can provide you the personal guidance. Once talk to him. He has got
Yeah,
Mr.
sure.
Raj is a training counselor. He has got a vast experience in IT and also in the career counseling. Please contact him. Yes, but you will be absolutely eligible. And there's a question from Varma. Is it a daily batch or weekend batch? It's a daily batch. Classes will be from Monday to Friday, 5 days per week. Only the demo will be on Sunday.
Preeti, one clarification. Can you please no, segregate the number of days you will be taking for each tool you are going to teach? So, which tools you are going to teach and how, or what is the time duration for each tool you are going to take?
Okay, yeah, we have the micro schedule. We'll try to share it. Yeah, we can
Okay.
do. Like one more thing is like if you see Jenkins, we cannot tell them that this is covered in 1 to 5 days. Like I told you, right? Certain tools are spread throughout the course. So that will be difficult to segregate tool wise because let me tell you, like first Jenkins will be covered initially for first 4 days only Jenkins. Then we'll integrate Jenkins and Git, right? So once this is completed, we'll pick up Docker and we'll learn Docker. After learning Docker, again we'll come back and use a CI/CD pipeline in integration with Docker, right? That is there. Again, once a Docker is finished, we'll learn Kubernetes. Again, once Kubernetes we learn, we'll come back and integrate a Kubernetes in the same pipeline where Git, Jenkins, Mav, and Docker are integrated. So that's how certain tools are spread across the course. But yeah, I'll
Yeah,
try.
yeah, got it. Like you are going to teach in a scenario based, not on the
Yes,
topic based.
yes, correct, correct. First the actual core concepts will be covered topic based, but then the real implementation will be done scenario based. So it means you will see Git till the last part of Ansible also, Terraform also. That's where you will see real implementation of Git ignore files in the Terraform class. Git ignore is learned already in Git classes with sample files. That particular ignore concept will be covered with real files in the ignore Terraform class. So that's how the first we'll deal the topic with some sample files for particularly for Git. Then we'll use Git throughout the course. So that's how it is. But I'll try to provide the micro schedule with topic wise, so that I think that can help you to some extent. That's why we don't put these many number of hours for a particular tool. It will be very difficult even for me to segregate that way. But micro schedule, yes, I am working on it. I'll share that.
Okay.
Preeti, are you covering the Nexus part also in this session?
Nexus
Please.
will not be covered, Akhil. I'm covering JFrog in place because like a
Okay.
JFrog is very widely used and it can be used in artifact store for both images and the artifacts, where Nexus is more fully focused on artifacts. So I'm covering JFrog in that place.
Okay.
Ma'am, will you be covering live project as well, no?
Live project in the sense we'll cover the projects which will give you the real scenarios. Live project means I don't get the meaning of the live project till now. What let me tell you, I will be covering this CI/CD pipeline on two projects, a monolithic and a microservice one, so that you can implement those in your real projects. Live project, the meaning of live project for me is something coming from the client. I don't have clients. I'm not a company. I'm not dealing with any clients personally, so I don't have live application. Of
No,
course,
ma'am, I means like sector wise, man. Will you be cover
yes,
e-commerce
yes,
or banking sector? I
yes.
think which.
Like we'll be covering a PHP DB application, the front end and the back end part, but the real scenarios will be simulated and covered. Like for example, I'll tell you, like auto scaling on EKS will be covered, right? EKS is like 50% of the Kubernetes clusters are EKS, and majority of anywhere you will not get that EKS live, EKS real scenarios, videos are covered in the class. I'll cover that auto scaling in live for Kubernetes cluster. Even the Argo CD implementation for security from the perspective of security implementing GitOps principles will be covered. Implementing CI/CD on EKS will be covered. Spinning up the Terraform, spinning up the EKS cluster with the Terraform will be covered. All such real scenarios will be covered. Here the focus, see for a DevOps engineer, The focus is not that whether it is an online whether it is a shopping application or e-commerce or HDFC bank or else a banking application or e-commerce website. This comes in picture. The difference in the applications like healthcare domain or banking domain or a social networking domain or else e-commerce, this kind of application difference comes within the development projects or testing projects, not for a DevOps. I hope you are getting me. DevOps, what DevOps engineer looks at, you have to provide the infrastructure which can provide you high availability, right? I'll show you that have a high availability for a PHP DB or else a microservice application. It doesn't make this setup is not different whether you do it for a healthcare domain or banking domain, right? Means we will use the similar setup, but the application would be different. When you are testing it, when you are monitoring it, yes, for a banking application, it would be rigorously monitored, those things, whether it is highly available or not. For a monolithic application, it may not be. But the setup we'll do from our end at the back end, which we'll do for any other app. Hope you got my point.
Okay, ma'am. You mean we'll cover both the architecture, right? Monolithic
Yes.
and microservice, and
Not the architecture. How do you implement high availability? How do you spin up the infra for those
yeah,
applications? How do you deploy microservice application in the Kubernetes cluster? How do you deploy monolithic in the cluster? The application, that microservice application
correct.
could be an online application or else, a banking application or else a healthcare application or a shopping application. It doesn't make any difference on how you are deploying it. The difference of these domains comes in when you are developing it, when you are testing it maybe, but not from DevOps perspective. Of course, for a banking, the high availability should be very much stringent, but we will replicate those scenarios with these applications also. That's how you get exposure to all those scenarios.
Yeah, got it, ma'am. Thanks.
Because see, this is the way and the very normal or a generic question which will pose. Let's say if I am taking a Java training, let's say for example, I don't know Java, I'm not a developer. For example, if I'm a Java instructor, we see so many institutes online as well as offline. So let's say if it is a Java course, people come and ask, will you be teaching me developing a Java? Will developing an application in healthcare domain? Will you be also help us teaching developing an application in banking sector and all? Because that makes a lot of difference. How do you develop it with respect to them? That's where the question should be applicable. For DevOps, what should be applicable is, will we be covering the high availability strategies or different CI/CD strategies, how to overcome the blockers when we are doing CI/CD, how are you automating the infrastructure with Terraform on EC2 or else on EKS, like spinning up infra with EKS, will these be covered? These are the relevant questions for us. Just I'm telling in general what you should focus on. Will we be teaching containerizing our Docker, containerize the application? Will you be teaching containerizing our database also? Yes, those are all relevant questions for a DevOps course. Yes, we'll be covering those. Hope you are getting me, like whoever has questions. Those are the things you should take. Maybe you might be taking the course with me or not. These are the things you should check. Ask anyone, like if you are checking anywhere or offline or online, ask these questions. Will we be taught how to containerize the application? Will we be taught how to containerize the application using multi-stage builds for images? Will we be taught how to optimize the build size for the images? These are the questions you should ask when you are taking DevOps course. Anyone ask these questions. Will you be showing us the setup of EKS with Argo CD? Will we be setting up Argo CD on EKS? Will we be setting up monitoring with Prometheus on our Kubernetes? Will we be teaching Helm charts, how to create Helm charts on your own? Will those be covered? It's not specific to an application is what I'm trying to tell you here. DevOps is not specific or focusing on what kind of application it is, but focusing on the reliability, the resiliency, the automation deployments for your applications should be the focus. There'll be minor difference with respect to applications. Hope I made the things clear. And one thing I want to tell, like in everyone whoever joined the session today, thank you so much spending your valuable time trusting us and taking up this demo. Thank you all so much. And any sort of questions you have, you can reach out on this WhatsApp number in our website. Any sort of help, any sort of questions, definitely you can ask whatever question you have. No question is good or bad, right? Please ask your questions in the class also. From tomorrow I'm expecting questions from you, but like let's say if you're covering a topic, let me finish it and put whatever questions you have, right? That's how I can deliver the content better, completely. That will be benefiting you, as well as you can clarify your queries, right? So if you are very serious to make a move, this is the right platform for sure. And I told you the main agenda will be, you will be clearing your interviews, you'll be thorough with these topics, you can work in your projects very confidently. I see people struggling in the projects, right? They will be coming up with a tag of DevOps, no proper refinement during the interview, or no proper understanding of job description. They land up there, they struggle a lot. Learn properly to avoid these problems. Make life happy and easy, right? Don't get into troubles by just keeping the resume and getting in. Learn it.
Ma'am, this program job guarantee.
Sorry.
This
Yes.
program will get a job guarantee, ma'am.
Job
Hello.
guarantee. Job guarantee. I wouldn't say it's a job guarantee, because job guarantees is no one's hands. I don't have a company, or I'm not anyone contacts with a consultants. What I can tell you is, if you go through this course and expertise whatever I'm covering here, I can guarantee you interview clearance guarantee. I can give you, you can work on the projects confidently. These two guarantees I can give, because the job market is not very good now, but still DevOps people are getting opportunities and they are getting selected if you have expertise. So if you are serious, if you gain that expertise, if you master the topics I cover, let me tell you, if you master the topics I cover, I can guarantee you, if you sit for an interview, you'll clear them. If you work in the projects, if you are given some task in the projects, you can work confidently.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
in the toughest times also, DevOps people with a DevOps skill set, expertise will survive in the market. That is for sure. Expertise means learn it for real. Just don't attend the class and don't assume that you are mastered. Attend the classes, learn it, practice it, reach out to us, clarify your questions, gain the subject, gain the expertise, clear your interviews, work in the projects, move. Like if you are trying to switch your career, yes, those things we can guarantee if you learn thoroughly.
Preeti, after getting the job offer, so is there any support will be provided from your end? If I'm
Dedicated
stuck, any, yeah,
Dedicated job support will not provide. Like if you know I'm
yeah,
working professional, I'm taking these classes from years out of my passion. I'm taking classes from 2012. At that point of time, I covered, like when I'm working on Selenium as a tester, even I covered Selenium. I have good understanding. I have worked on QTP, Selenium as a tester during those days, I think 2010 or so. From then I'm into this teaching. So that's how I'm into teaching. So coming to the job support, so out of this busy schedule, job support will not be possible. But yes, if you have any questions, if you are stuck up there, that kind of a doubts clearing we can do.
yeah, that one only I need. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, one query from my side, Preeti, if you don't mind.
Yes, please. Please go on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, during these practice sessions of whatever the tutorial we are having, if we ask, if we stuck anywhere, then will you be in the position to solve that query by sharing the screen or by taking the control of our screen or something like that?
Yes, in the class we can do that. First, if you are stuck up, like after the class, post them in the WhatsApp group. Majority will be solved there. But if still it can't be solved, we will be solving it in the next day class. Last 15 minutes will be for the questionnaire and for these things, for such things like troubleshooting. If I have to, I can do by screen share.
Okay. And one more. How much depth I mean, the shell scripting and Python is I mean, these are the uh, I mean, components of this DevOps profile, right?
Have you joined the class late, Yogesh?
Yes.
Okay, I have explained this clearly in the beginning of the class, but again, I will explain you. That's not an issue. And there is one more question from Yes Yogesh. Yogesh, I'll come to your question. Just give me 2 minutes, please. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So coming to your question, Python and shell scripting are not a part of DevOps. Those are different tools, different skills. Those are good to have skills, but not mandatory skills for a DevOps engineer. Okay, who should learn it? Like that doesn't come under DevOps. That's a good to have skill. That's all. I have explained that clearly in the beginning. Again, let me tell you. See, there are job descriptions where if people are looking for thorough in-depth of Python, in-depth of shell scripting means that is not for you. That is for people from development background or people who already coming from Linux admin background who were shell scripting. So those job descriptions you should not opt for. They'll be in the good to have skills, that's fine. But if they are looking for those skill set rigorously, that's not for you. Out of all the 100 job descriptions, it's not that you will be suitable for everything. Would you choose a would you choose a job description where Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins are the focus, or would you choose for a DevOps role with the shell scripting or Python? If you choose a DevOps role with the shell scripting and Python as the main focus, then it's not really DevOps. It will not help you in the long run, right? It will not pay you high. If you are looking for job descriptions where these tools are the focus, Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker, Terraform, that's a real DevOps role. Even for the long run, that will work. Also, that will guarantee you high pace. So you have to choose which one you have to go for. Those should be a good to have skills. Skills, okay, if you have that, that will be good. But that shouldn't be a mandatory skills for DevOps. I'm into DevOps from certain long period. I haven't used any of these tools till now in my career. So choose such a career path which will help you in the long run, which will help you in high paying things. Just because the name is DevOps, it doesn't mean it's actually DevOps. You should read the job description and understand it. If you see something like shell scripting is the focus, you need to have deep dive in the Python and all, that job description is not for you. And any more questions, please let me know. And meanwhile, I'm going through a question from Yogesh. This is pending from quite some time. Sorry for the delay. Yes, Yogesh. I know whether I don't know whether you are there or whether you leave the webinar.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay. You are the same person, Yogesh? Okay. Okay. Do you only cover tools, AWS or Azure also? Cover tools, AWS or you are talking about the cloud tools. If you are talking about cloud tools, I'm not covering it. I wouldn't say I'm covering AWS. I would say I'm covering DevOps on AWS because the services, the perspective of learning will be from the DevOps. Of course, by the end of the day, you will know those AWS services thoroughly. But I would prefer telling that like we are covering DevOps on AWS, not Azure. Again, I answered this question also in the beginning, like learn one cloud, learn one tool under each category, master one tool under each category. Similarly, master one cloud on that category. You can switch over to other clouds. Not that you will sit and learn all the tools, all the clouds. Because tomorrow that Azure might be completely modified. A new tool, new cloud might be coming, or AWS might be like because new clouds are coming, evolving every day. So you shouldn't be stuck up with one cloud or one services. I think I answered maximum of the questions. Any payment related questions? I'm getting payment related questions. Please, I want to those questions to be answered by Mr. Raj. Please ping Mr. Raj on the WhatsApp. Any more questions from anyone?
Preeti, kindly share me the live session link and today's demo session will be posted. Which link? Can you please share me that also?
The WhatsApp group. Are you there in some WhatsApp group where we are showing our announcements? Are you there in the WhatsApp group?
Only with Preeti DevOps group.
No problem. Can you please ping on this number? 888-674-0600. Just ping on this number. We can add you to the WhatsApp group and make sure you get all the updates and the information. 888-674-0600. Any more questions from anyone? So tomorrow the class begins at the same time like we started, 7:30 to 9 o'clock, where we'll be starting with the Git. From the basics, we'll get started understanding what is a version control system, why you should learn it, who should learn it, like whether it's a DevOps engineer should learn it or only developers should learn it, or why a DevOps engineer should learn it, and what is a version control system, what are the types of it, why we are learning Git in particular when there are so many tools, how is it beneficial for us, how do we back up that in our real, all of that will be covered, and we'll get started with the Git hands-on, Git setup, Git hands-on. Everything will be covered step by step. Stay tuned for it. Get enrolled to get access to all your LMS and to avoid any delays or pause with the access and all, no blockers with access. Make sure you're all equipped completely before we get started tomorrow. So that is all from my end. Still, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. I'll be there back for a few more minutes. So, all right, then I see people reaching out us on WhatsApp. We can have further queries on this WhatsApp number. Please ping us on this number for further queries or anything else you have. Thank you all once again for spending your valuable time over the weekend with us. Thank you all. Have a great Sunday. Happy weekend. See you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thank you all once again.
Thanks, Preeti. Thanks all.